Hello everybody, I'm Sensei Robert and I've been asked to share basic form number 1 with you and to teach you how to go through the movements and how to learn them so that you can practice these on your own. So we're going to start very simply with a couple of our basic positions, which is attention, feet together, hands at your side, ready position, and we'll do the simplest version of that now, which is just to bring your hands to your chest and set them back out as you step out. And then the stances we're going to use today for basic form number 1 are very simple. It's basically just a front stance, which is going to be right foot or left foot back, shoulders square, hips square, everything's faced front, which is why it's called a front stance. As we move in this from one front stance to the other, we'll step forward, and then there'll be a turn at each end. And again, I'll go through those separately so that you've got a good foundation to build the hand movements that we're going to put on top of that. So to begin with, we start at attention, we go to ready position, and we're going to step right foot back to front stance. And for now, I'm just going to put my hands on my hips. We'll use those later. As I step my right foot back, I want my feet about shoulder width apart. There's no specific measurement, but something comfortable. My balance is about 50-50 between the 2 feet so that I can shift my weight to either the front foot or the back foot as I need to. Eyes will stay straight ahead, and I'll just move my right foot in front of my left. That's 1. Second step, 2. And 3. And this is where we end the first direction of basic form number 1. As we get to this point, we're going to be turning around to go back, and I'm going to show you the turn. This is a very simple turn. I'm going to look over my left shoulder. I'm going to turn my body all the way around and pay attention to my left leg. It's just going to slide through so that I end up with left foot back again once I've turned. That's the simple turn. On the way back, I'm going to do 3 steps again. And when I get to this end, my feet are in the opposite position. So I'm going to have to do a little bit different turn, but it's really not too hard. All I'm going to do is bring my right foot and left foot together. I'm going to pivot and then step with my left foot back. You'll notice that I started with right foot back, I end up with left foot back. That's one of the things that makes this a form that's kind of balanced on the 2 sides, so we get equal practice on both sides. All right, back to attention. And back to ready position. As we add the hands, we're going to do some very basic movements with hands. First one we're going to do is a low block, and to do a low block, I'm going to put one hand on top, one hand under, and the top hand will be doing the blocking. If I want to block on the other side, left hand would go on top, and this is a drill all by itself, but during the form you'll see how we switch. And the fold will always be for low block, the blocking hand on top. When we punch, the hand that is at our side is going to come straight out and punch in front of us. And the thing we want to focus on for right now is making sure that we keep the top of the arm flat. When we bend the arm, it creates weaknesses in our arm, and this is a drill to make sure we get in good position. So if I start putting this together, basic form number 1 starts from attention to ready position, and then move number 1 is going to be a right low block. I fold, I do the first step that we talked about before, and I execute the block. The next thing I'm going to do is step forward and do a punch with my left hand. So I step and then put the punch out in front. Again, making sure that that's flat. That's the first 2 moves. The next 2 moves are exactly the same, but we just switch sides. So this time it's going to be a left hand low block, so left hand on top. We execute the block, and then we're going to step forward one more time, and we're going to do the punch from the other side. At the end of our forms, we add a kia. Kia! And that's the end of this direction of travel. I'm going to do a low block when I turn around, and it's going to be a left low block. So I put the left hand on top again. I look over my shoulder to start the turn, and as I mentioned before, we're going to end up in the same stance, face the other direction. So once I turn, this left foot will slide all the way through. Once it's slid all the way through, I execute the low block. From here on out, we're going to do 3 punches in a row, each one with a step. 1, 2, and 3. Kia! This is the end of the form, so we got the kia again. We're going to end with a left low block. So we're going to put the left hand on top. This is the special turn where both feet come together. We turn around and face front, and as we step this foot back, we execute the low block. When we're done, we come back to attention, and then back to ready position. I'm going to show you now that form all the way through. Again, don't worry about not being able to put it all together at first. When I first learned this, I learned footwork forward and back first. Then I learned how to do the footwork and the hands in the first direction, how to do the turn, and then I worked on the last direction and the final turn. And even after I got done with all of that, very surprised to find that I'm still learning new things about basic form number one. So here it is all the way through. Basic form number one. So, again, very basic pattern of movement. These are, in my mind, these are equivalent to piano scale drills. This is a way for us to practice these movements repeatedly and make sure we haven't left anything out. So as you get these, and if it starts to get too repetitious and too boring, ask us for some help with how to make them more exciting. There are plenty of things that we can add on top of what we're building here today. Thank you very much.